We have some major breaking news right now. We can confirm that the charges against Mayor Eric Adams have been dismissed with prejudice. Morgan McKay is with us right now over the phone. Morgan, what does this mean exactly for the mayor?
Hi, Rosanna and Kurt. This is honestly the best news possible for Mayor Eric Adams. Because they're dropping the case with prejudice, that means that prosecutors will not have the option to reinstate charges at a later date. And this is opposite of what the Trump Department of Justice was asking for in this case. They were asking for these charges against Mayor Eric Adams to be dropped without prejudice. And that means that these charges could be brought back at any point. And this caused a lot of controversy, both within the city council, with Governor Kathy Hochul. Because of this, a lot of people accused the mayor of cooperating with the Trump administration on immigration. 7 prosecutors, you guys will remember, quit rather than drop these charges against Adams. And he said that there was no quid pro quo, but a lot of people were accusing him of being in Trump's pocket, saying this could come back at a later date. People were calling on him to resign, and Governor Kathy Hochul was even considering or proposing guardrails to sort of limit his power. But now, of course, huge news, obviously, with all of this. This means now that these charges can't be brought back. And remember, he was facing 5 charges related to corruption, bribery, and soliciting illegal campaign donations from foreign entities.
Plus, Morgan, I mean, the mayor was kind of in limbo. With his mayoral campaign, he wanted to move forward with his reelection campaign, but really couldn't until there was some kind of decision made with this case.
Yes, he was having a very hard time just really speaking to New Yorkers. And that's something he said just recently. He said that he really wanted to apologize to New Yorkers for everything that they've been going through lately with this case. And he said that's one of the reasons actually why he wanted to run for re-election, to sort of prove himself and to show New Yorkers, he said, that he would never run away and that he is facing these charges. Now he has the ability to go ahead, run for re-election. Yesterday, he wouldn't say quite if he is going to be running as a Democrat. They have until Thursday to submit petitions. Almost 4,000 signatures they have to submit by Thursday. But it seems like he might be running possibly as an independent. He sort of left the door open, not saying if he's going to be submitting those petitions. Yesterday, he said that he's going to make an announcement eventually. So we're going to have to see, does this mean that he maybe just goes full throttle now? We're going to have to see just how he maneuvers these changes when it comes to his reelection.
And the deadline is tomorrow, that Thursday, meaning 24 hours from now. Maybe not on the clock, but tomorrow. The big question here is, I guess, should we be surprised at all by this? Because the Trump administration wanted the charges dismissed without prejudice, meaning they could bring them back up later. But the independent counsel that was brought in by the judge, Daniel Ho, recommended exactly what happened today, that they be dropped without prejudice. The deadline, they said initially, was March 21st. That extended obviously past that. But was the expectation all along that this would be the outcome?
I think one of the reasons why the judge wanted to appoint an independent prosecutor is because he wanted to look at if he's allowed to go ahead and do something that the federal prosecutors at the Justice Department was asking him not to do, or not in the outline. They said they wanted to dismiss it without prejudice, and he wanted to see if he could dismiss it with prejudice. And that's one of the reasons why he wanted to speak with this independent prosecutor, and it sort of gave him a line where if this gets brought up again, he can point to this independent prosecutor and say, hey, this is what they were recommending. And it is so rare for something like this to happen as well. It also sets a precedent. And, in the motion that the judge did release today, he did say that there was no evidence that there were any improper motives by federal prosecutors to sort of keep the mayor in his pocket, which I think is important. But he did say that he believes that this case, if it's going to be dismissed, can be dismissed with prejudice. And so obviously historic ruling here, and it definitely sets the tone for future cases like this.
Does this put a period on everything involving the mayor in the legal cases?
So right now, yes, when it comes to his criminal case, his federal criminal case, that means that this is over. This means that federal prosecutors cannot bring this back in the future. When it comes to these charges, this evidence, I would be interested to see if maybe they release everything, if they release, some of the other items that they had in there, or if that would be, part of, I guess, if you're dismissing the case, I guess you probably wouldn't release all the evidence. I'm not sure exactly how that all work. Definitely we'll be looking to get some more answers today.
I mean, because if you remember the U.S. attorney who resigned because she refused to drop the charges, she was insisting that she had other charges that she was going to hit the mayor with.
That she wanted to bring, but they wouldn't allow her to bring.
We didn't know what they were, but they were kind of threatening there were other charges out there, right?
Right, and we may never find that out right now is the question. Here's the answer, rather.
Exactly. It's unclear exactly, where this, the other things that they've collected in this case will go. He turned over, for example, his cell phone, and we never were able to determine exactly what was in that cell phone. I don't even know if federal prosecutors were able to crack into that cell phone. He had given them their cell phone. A few months later, they said they weren't able to get in because the mayor couldn't remember his passcode. I'm not sure exactly where all of that will go now, or if that just all kind of goes to the wayside with these charges being dropped. But it's a good day for the mayor. I'm sure he's feeling a huge sigh of relief now that he has this in his rearview mirror.
All right, we don't want to get you down the speculation road, so thank you very much for the information, Morgan McKay.